Okay, imagine this. What if you died? And then? Well, you came back as a sword.
Yeah.
Seriously. Not, the hero holding the sword, but the actual sword itself. You wake up, you're this intelligent weapon just waiting.
Right.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into the really quite unique world of the time I got reincarnated as a sword.
Yeah.
Lots of fans just call it Tenkin.
Yeah, Tenkin. And we've got quite a bit to work with here. Episode transcripts, lore guides, even breakdowns of the specific anime tropes it uses or twists. So our mission today is basically to unpack that really wild premise, see how it plays with those common isekai ideas, and figure out why this particular story clicked with so many people. It feels fresh somehow.
Exactly. Think of this as your quick guide to this whole corner fantasy. Lots of surprising details, some clever takes on the genre, and honestly, some real heart, too.
We'll walk you through the journey of this sword, this sentient weapon, and his amazing wielder. We want to highlight what makes their story, really stand out in a pretty crowded genre.
All right, let's jump right into that premise because it's the big hook. So our main guy dies. Pretty standard, unceremonious death, actually. Finds himself in another world, magic, monsters, the usual fantasy setup. But here's the kicker, and this is what immediately makes Tenkin different. He's not a human hero.
Yeah.
Not an elf. Not even like a slime, which we've seen before. Nope. He's a sword. A powerful, intelligent sword who eventually gets the name Teacher.
And it's fascinating how it grabs that isekai trope, being reborn in a fantasy world, and just instantly twists it. He's not a person with abilities. He fundamentally is the ability, the weapon. At first, he's just there. A sword stuck in the ground, can't move without telekinesis. Kind of vulnerable, actually. But he quickly figures out he has these core skills, like appraisal lets him analyze basically anything, self-recovery, so he stays sharp. And the really crucial one, absorbing crystals from monsters he defeats.
Ah, the crystals.
Yeah, these give him crystal exp. That's experience just for the sword itself, and memory skills from the monsters, so he learns their tricks, and also self-evo points, which he uses to, level himself up, become a better sword.
So he's not just a static sword, he's constantly evolving. Skill-hungry, like you said, floating around with telekinesis, basically this walking or floating RPG stat sheet with an edge. It sets up this really interesting dynamic for the overpowered protagonist idea, doesn't it? The power isn't in the hero's hands.
It is the hero, but a hero who needs someone else. Which leads us right to the next key part.
This is where it gets really good. This powerful, but kind of lonely sword meets his destined wielder, Fran. She's a young girl, a black cat beastkin, and she's a slave when they meet, trapped, oppressed, just desperate for a way to get stronger.
And their meeting is the core, really, the emotional heart of the show. Fran's from the Black Cat tribe, and they are heavily discriminated against in this world, seen as weak, unable to evolve. Her parents actually died trying to achieve that evolution, something thought impossible for black cats. Evolution here isn't just like changing form. It means unlocking greater power, social standing, freedom, basically.
Wow, so that's her entire drive.
Absolutely. Her whole goal is to get strong enough to evolve, to break that cycle for her people and prove everyone wrong.
And Teacher sees that raw determination in her, pure will. And he decides right then he's going to help her. He pledges himself to her goal.
And she, in turn, gives him his name, Teacher, which is just perfect for their relationship, right? Master, student, guardian, ward. It shifts a bit, but that core is there.
You see right away how much they need each other. He needs someone to wield him, to act in the world. She needs his power, his guidance.
It very quickly becomes this found family dynamic. It's not just about power, it's this deep emotional bond that fuels both of them, really pulls you in.
Okay, so how does that work in practice? How do they actually, get stronger together?
Right, the mechanics. The show uses a lot of RPG-like systems, which feels pretty satisfying to watch. As we said, Teacher absorbs those crystals. He gets the Crystal X, the memory skills from monsters, the self-evo points to boost his own stats and abilities as a sword. But the key thing is, he can then choose to share a lot of those skills directly with Fran.
Like downloading skills straight into her.
Pretty much. It's a literal skill-sharing system. And Fran, she's a natural, incredibly gifted, picks things up super fast.
But she becomes a sword magus, right? Mixing sword fighting and magic.
Exactly. She masters basic sword art, elemental magic like fire, but then gets into advanced stuff, like combining wind and fire to make thunder magic. Teacher guides her, but her talent shines.
And then there's Urushi, the wolf familiar.
Ah, yes. Urushi, her onyx wolf familiar she summons. He quickly becomes like her devoted little brother, another member of their unconventional family unit.
Adds another layer to their team.
Definitely. And another interesting mechanic is the power of naming. When Fran names teacher and later names Urushi, it's not just symbolic. In this world, giving something a name actually imbues it with more power. It enhances their stats, their abilities, it connects identity directly to strength.
That's a cool detail. So, okay, they're getting stronger, they have this bond. Where do they go? What do they do?
Their journey leads them to the town of Alessa. They register at the Adventurers Guild there.
Classic fantasy setup, guilds, ranks.
Right, ranks G through S, quest to take on. And we meet a great cast of supporting characters. There's Nell, the guild receptionist. She's wonderfully pragmatic. Garrus, the dwarf blacksmith who makes Fran's gear and gets quite protective of her. Klimt, the guild master who's wise and sees her potential early on.
And Amanda, the A-rank adventurer.
Yes, Amanda, the guardian of children. She becomes a really important mentor figure for Fran, almost like a mother figure. Very powerful, very caring.
But it's not all friendly faces and quests, is it? You mentioned the discrimination.
No, it's not. The anime doesn't shy away from that at all. The prejudice against the Black Cat tribe is a constant undercurrent. Fran faces insults, hostility, particularly from the Blue Cats. They're another beastkin tribe with a history of betraying and enslaving the Black Cats. So there's real animosity there.
So that systemic injustice is a major external conflict for her. Makes her quest for evolution even more personal.
Exactly. It grounds the fantasy in something unfortunately very real. And we also see corruption in power structures.
Like that Knight Vice Captain,
Right.
August Allsand.
Right, August Alston. He's the perfect example of abusing authority. He has this nasty skill, truth of falsehood, lets him tell if someone's lying.
Which sounds useful, but he twists it.
He totally abuses it,
Huh?
uses it to manipulate people, make false accusations, control situations. Just a thoroughly unpleasant guy who represents that darker side of society.
Doesn't teacher get a bit of payback there? With his own skill.
Oh, yeah. Teacher has this unique skill called Skill Taker, lets him absorb skills from defeated opponents, and let's just say he gets a chance to use it on August. Very satisfying moment.
Nice. So it shows the world building isn't just monsters, it's societal problems too.
Absolutely. And their adventures really push them against all of it. The monsters, the prejudice, the corruption.
They go into dungeons, right? Fighting goblins and bigger things.
Oh, yeah. They face hordes of goblins, but also much nastier threats, like a greater demon, which interestingly also had the Skill Taker ability.
Ooh, a mirror match almost.
Kind of.
Sure.
It forces Teacher to be really strategic in guiding Fran. And through all these fights, you see Fran's determination just grow and grow. She's not just fighting for herself anymore, but to protect others.
That battle against the Blue Cat, Guren, the Thousand Slasher, that looked intense too.
Very intense. It was a direct confrontation with that prejudice she faces. Both that fight and the one against the demon really show how much she's grown as a warrior and how vital Teacher's tactical mind is.
And Amanda helps out too, doesn't she? The A-ranker.
Yeah, Amanda steps in, especially during the dungeon arc. She acts as that powerful mentor and protector, reinforcing that found family aspect. She really fights for Fran.
Amidst all this danger and fighting, though, there's that one surprising element. The curry.
Yes. Teacher's cooking. Specifically, his curry. It becomes this running gag, but also this really important comfort food for Fran.
It's her reward after a tough battle or a long day.
Exactly. It's a small detail, but it adds so much warmth and humanity to their journey. It reminds you that even with all the magic and monsters, simple things matter. A good meal, someone caring for you.
Fran's reactions to the curry are just the best. Pure joy.
Absolutely priceless. It really helps balance the tone. So when you step back and look at this deep dive into Tenkin, you really see this clever mix of the familiar and the completely new. It takes those staple tropes, Isekai, the overpowered protagonists, but filters them through this unique relationship between the sword and the wielder.
Yeah, get all the exciting stuff, the dungeon crawls, learning new skills, the big fights, but it's wrapped up in this genuinely heartwarming story. It's about finding family where you least expect it, fighting against prejudice, and chasing this really personal, vital goal of evolution.
Fran and Teacher's bond is the absolute core. Watching her go from this desperate slave girl to a powerful, confident adventurer, with Teacher evolving alongside her, it's just really compelling. The power system twists are smart, too.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? If your whole purpose was like built into your very being like Teacher's is, and your ability to act depended entirely on someone else's will, how would you even define success? How do you strive for growth, not just for you, but for the person you're bound to?
Yeah, it raises some interesting questions about identity, purpose, and what strength really means.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic, thought-provoking adventure. Proves that maybe the most powerful hero isn't always the one you expect. A sword with a heart, a teacher's dedication. Who knew? So what do you think about that idea? A weapon being the central consciousness, driving a story about liberation and finding your place. Pretty cool concept, right?